Hey guys, so today I thought I would do a different kind of video. I thought I would talk about my luxury handbag wish list. And this is a list that changes. It's very organic, depending on what mood I'm in, how long this list has been in existence. It's always sort of shifting and changing. So I thought it'd be fun to just share with you what is on this wish list, at least what's on it at this very moment. We could talk about what kind of caught my eye, why some of these handbags ended up on my wish list. We can compare some of the handbags on my list one to another. So I thought that would be kind of fun, and definitely let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, what some of your dream handbags are, if any of the dream handbags that are on my list are on your list as well. Maybe let us know what has kind of caught your eye. So this is not necessarily bags that have just been released, you know, for a cruise or for spring, summer 2021. These are ones that are just sort of currently on my list, and maybe they've been on there for a very long time, or maybe they just appeared. So why don't we go ahead and get started? All right, I figured I would start strong and start with Hermes. So I was just poking around on the Hermes site, and obviously on their site, they don't have all of their bags, but this bag has actually caught my eye on several occasions. I've seen it online. I've seen it actually in store. I've seen it in their display window, and it's just such a fun take on their more classic bags. So the bag that I'm talking about is the 2424 bag. It is very soft. It's not very structured. It's not as structured as the Birkin or the Kelly, or a lot of their handbags, the Constance. A lot of their bags are very, very structured. And you know, there's definitely a time and a place for a structured bag, but I think bags for me, bags that get the most use in my collection, are bags that really are a little bit more casual. I like to refer to these kind of softer structures as bags that are kind of shovable. I can kind of just shove things into this bag and not really worry about having to place them perfectly, which is what I find I have to do with bags that are structured. You know, you kind of have to lay your things in there kind of in a specific way, otherwise it doesn't fit, or they kind of poke out in a really awkward way. So I really like these kind of softer bags. But what I love about this bag is it really is unmistakably Hermes. With the hardware on there, it is very much like that clasp that you see on the Birkin or the Kelly. It is oversized though, which I think also kind of plays really well with this general kind of like casual shaped bag where it's softer, and then you have this kind of exaggerated piece of hardware. The one thing that when I saw this bag in store and in its display is I think I saw a larger size of this. And so I think they have different sizes. The picture that I'm showing you here is of the 29. The 29 actually has the ability to add a shoulder strap to it. So there's like the 2D rings on the back. So you can just clip a shoulder strap there and you can wear it as a shoulder bag. So I think either the smaller size or maybe the larger size, not all of them have this D-ring shoulder strap attachment. And the first one that I saw in store did not have the attachment. At least I didn't see it, or maybe they just didn't have the shoulder strap attached to it. And so that was kind of a turnoff to me, because you can see that handle, the top handle, is not fully structured. It's a little bit soft. Again, it looks fantastic with the rest of the bag, but it also doesn't look like it's very easy to hold. And so, you know, not only did it seem not terribly easy to hold, or not really a handle that you can put your arm through easily and you can leave like the bag in like the nook of your elbow. Without that shoulder strap, I was kind of turned off by this bag initially. And then I started seeing more and more pictures of this where it has the shoulder strap, and I thought, oh, okay, well, that makes it much more versatile. I don't know if the shoulder strap is long enough to wear crossbody. If it is, that would be really fantastic. So this bag is definitely on my wish list. And when I was poking around on the Hermes site, they have like the inventory on their site is constantly changing, and they had this bright Kelly green version with gold hardware on there, and it just took my breath away. You know, usually if I'm going to spend a lot of money on a bag, I want it to be classic. I want to make sure that it's going to go with everything, every occasion, every outfit. But there's something about this bright Kelly green that I am just in love with. And I do love the color green, but I generally lean towards like olive tones or deeper greens. Oh, but this bright green is just incredible. So I doubt it's going to be on the site for too long, and I've never seen a bright green one in person. But I think if I had to choose, I would probably end up getting a black one again, just because, you know, it would go with everything, or maybe one of those like rich caramel brown colors. So that is the first bag that is on my wish list. So the next Hermes bag that's on my wish list, of course there's two. There's actually many, but I'm gonna stop it at two. But the next bag that's on my wish list is the Bolide bag. And it's the one that has the rounded top. It kind of comes, it's almost like a clam shape. So it's wider at the bottom and it zips across the top. So it kind of comes to a closure, and then there's two handles. This bag definitely grew on me. This is not a bag that I was immediately attracted to. For sure. I thought it was very plain. I thought it looked a little, you know, a little mature, and it was just something that I kind of was never really attracted to. But the reason why, and the next bag that's on my list, and the reason why the Bolide bag is on my list is because of this bag. But the Row came out with, I think they just call it the lady bag, and it's basically a version of this Bolide bag. And you know, there's pros and cons to both. They're about the same size. I think the Row bag maybe, well, one, I'm not sure which one, but one is a little bit wider than the other. And I really like the looks of the Row version because it's so smooth. They use like a box calfskin and it's really smooth. And I really like that smooth calfskin, but there's definitely something to be said about the Hermes leather, the one that, you know, it's a little bit more scratch resistant. It's a little bit more resilient. But what I really don't like about the Hermes version, it has that oval top piece. And I know that's where you can get some engraving done, your initials or whatever. But a lot of people don't do that. So you just have this blank, like oval leather piece on there, which I don't really like. And the Rose version doesn't have that. So both of those bags are on my list, but I know I would only get one over the other. And again, while I love the Rose like box calfskin version of the bag, you know, that's a kind of leather that I would be really afraid to scratch, and it's very stiff. And like I mentioned with the 2024 bag, stiff bags aren't always my things. So while I love the looks of the Rose version of this bag, I think I would still probably opt for the Hermes. But both are on my wish list because, like I said, the shape of this bag has just really grown on me. And speaking of the Row, I mentioned them when I talked all about my luxury handbag collection. I have their leather backpack that is probably one of my most used bags. It's so handy. It's a backpack. You can just put it on one shoulder. It has like a little strap that you can use to hold it, you know, kind of like as a tote bag. And I love the Rose aesthetic, not just their handbags, but their entire line, their clothing, their shoes, their sunglasses, like everything. I absolutely love the line. I love the Olsen twins. I love their style. And so they're another brand, just like Hermes. I have a ton, like I'll take any of their bags. I have a ton of their bags on my wish list. But the one that kind of caught my eye that I think is relatively new, maybe new for this season, is their mail bag. It's a crossbody, looks like a mail messenger kind of bag. And it just has this flap over it. The crossbody strap, there's a buckle, so it looks like it's adjustable, which is really nice. And I love the simplicity of this bag. It just looks like the leather is so supple. I have two of the Row bags. I have the backpack and then I have one of their carry-all totes. And I love the leather, like the quality of the leather and the workmanship is just so impeccable that you can kind of like see it in this messenger, this mail bag. It looks so supple and soft and durable and not something I would have to be too precious with. And it comes in this beautiful kind of like gray minky color. I really love it. And if you guys don't know, I love a crossbody bag. I just think it's the most practical. It keeps my hands free. Unlike a shoulder bag, it can't really like fall off of you, which is great. And being someone from New York City, it's like I need all of the practicality, even though I don't really need a crossbody bag here in Vegas where I live now. I just love it. I still just love the freedom of a crossbody bag, and it kind of like ticks all of my boxes. So that is definitely a bag that is on my wish list. And speaking of crossbody bags, this bag has been on and off of my list for, it feels like years now, since it came out, and that's the Bottega Veneta padded cassette bag. This like I said, this came out years ago. I think as soon as Bottega Veneta kind of redid their brand and they have a new creative director, this padded cassette I think was like one of the first releases. And I remember going into store, I was really interested in it. And because it's padded, it looks bigger than it is. So as soon as you open the flap up and you look at the size of the actual handbag, it's actually fairly small. And I remember thinking, I can fit my phone in there, and I have like a long wallet. I've actually given that up, and I've downshifted to a smaller card holder, which actually would be perfect for this. But at the time when I had gone into store, I had my big phone, I had my big wallet, continental size wallet, and those were the only two things I could fit in there. I had to like shove them in there, and that was it. It was like my keys would kind of have to sit on top, and then I wouldn't be able to close the flap. So, you know, I was kind of immediately turned off. But I've really come to appreciate the smaller bag since that trip to the store. And so now the bag is kind of back on my wish list because I do love the modern feel of the kind of padded woven look. And you know, again, I love that it's crossbody. I love all the colors that it comes in. They, of course, have a black one, which is probably the one I would opt for. But because it's a bag that's been now a part of their line for so long, they have it in so many colors. So you can almost choose, and they do have it in a really bright Kelly green. And I don't know, that color is just really, really calling out to me lately. So that bag is definitely back on my wish list. And a new bag that Bottega Veneta has come out with for spring, it's called the Bulb bag. And so it just looks like this round kind of sack with like a drawstring at the top. And it's really, for lack of a better word, it's very cute. It looks very, very cute. It literally looks like a bulb, like a garlic bulb. I know there's at least two sizes. I know there's at least like a medium and a small. I think I would definitely opt for the medium. The medium itself already looks kind of petite. The small looks really petite. The small looks almost like an evening bag, like one that you would hang off of your wrist. I'd probably have to go into store and look because I don't think you can probably see all of the bag from pictures because I do think it's like kind of rounded. But I just love this casual feel to it. I love how soft the leather looks. I love the like gold ball details at the end of the drawstrings. The handles look like you could hold it in your hand or maybe put it onto your shoulder, which I really love. Again, I think I would probably get it in black, but they do have this color that I think is called grape. And at first glance, it looks almost like a chocolate brown. But if you look at it further, it is like a very, very, it's almost like a raisin color. And it's really beautiful. But, you know, I get very, very shy about getting colors other than like very neutral colors like browns and beiges and blacks, except when it comes to green apparently. But that color really, really speaks to me. I think it's really beautiful. And I think it would go with like a black outfit, which oftentimes I am wearing. And they do have a version of it where it's just not this soft leather, but it does have like the Bottega Veneta woven leather. And I don't know, I think I would definitely opt for just the straight up leather because I think that's what adds to its appeal. It's kind of softness. And I think the woven leather kind of takes away from that. It makes it a lot more structured. Even though there's a lot more like visual interest to it, I just like that kind of soft, soft bulby bag look. So that is actually very, very high on my list because it looks like, dare I say, it looks kind of like a practical bag. Like you could throw a lot of stuff in there or not. It would kind of shape around whatever it is you have in there. And I feel like it could be dressed up for evening, or it could be kind of like an easy daytime bag. So that is definitely a bag I have my eyes on. I have two bags from Loewe on my list here. And the first one is one that kind of like the padded cassette bag. It's been on and off this wish list of mine. And now it's been on for a while, and that's their balloon bag. I just don't know what size I would want. It's a bucket bag with like a front drawstring. It's a bit more structured than the Bottega Veneta bulb bag because it has like a hard leather structured bottom, and then like the rest of the bag looks a lot softer. It's almost like there's like scaffolding to this bag. Like it has this base and then it has like leather that runs up the sides, and then you have like the shoulder strap, and then you have the drawstring, and then the rest of it is softer, whether it's made out of leather or cloth. They have all of these different versions. And the one that really caught my eye is this like felted wool version. I really like textures. As you guys know, I'm not really big on a lot of color, but I really like texture. And this felted wool version, it has like very muted stripes on it, so there is a little bit of like color going on, but the stripes are like black and gray and white, I think. But I love like the soft woolly felt feel to it. My only hesitation is, you know, I may not want to carry this bag in the summer months. It may look a little bit too warm. And they do have versions where like they have that leather, and then the body of the bag is like more of like a canvas. And that I always think looks really summery and sporty in a way, because it has those the leather accents. So while this bag is on my wish list, I really don't know which one. There's some colors that I really love. Of course, I always think, oh, should I just get the black one? But they have this almost like a faded olive color that I just think is so unique. It reminds me kind of like the messenger bag from the Row. You know, the Rose is like a gray, more of an elephant gray kind of color, and this Loewe, it's almost like the green version of that. It's like this faded olive with a lot of gray in it. Oh, I just think it's so beautiful. And that came out, I think, last fall, so I don't even know if that colorway is available anymore. But Loewe just did a collaboration with my neighbor Totoro. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with Totoro. I'm sure you are, but that's like a Japanese anime movie. And oh, I was dying for one of these collaborations. And for the Bloom bag, they had the little soot spirits. They had it all over the Bloom bag. And oh, I really had to like hold myself back, because, you know, I didn't want to buy something too trendy. I didn't want to buy a bag that I could possibly be tired of, you know, in a couple of months. So I did refrain from buying that version of it, but I really wanted it. I really wanted it, but I thought I should just kind of stick with a more classic version of that bag. So that is one bag from Loewe that I want. The other bag that I want is the flamenco clutch, and they just came out with one that's pleated, and it almost looks like a shell. It's so cool. I mean, I think I would probably opt for the regular flamenco clutch, and I'll pop a picture of the regular one up here now. But I have one of the Bottega Veneta pouches. That's the one that has no handles, no nothing. It's like a clutch, and it just opens and closes. And as much as I love the look of that bag, it's so, you know, modern and chic, and I think it really makes any outfit you're wearing very, very, you know, sophisticated and cool. It's totally impractical, and I have sweaty hands, and I hate carrying a bag in my hands. And with that bag, there's absolutely no choice. So the Loewe flamenco clutch has a similar feel to it. It has that kind of soft leather feel to it. It has these big kind of drawstrings at the top that kind of give it that scrunchiness at the top, but it has a shoulder strap, and it's like hidden inside. I actually haven't seen one in person, but it's hidden inside, I believe, and you have a shoulder strap. And I thought, oh, I should have gotten that one because it's so much more versatile, I think, than the Bottega Veneta pouch. So I've had a flamenco clutch on my wish list for a while, basically ever since I bought the Bottega Veneta pouch years ago when that first came out. And I kind of, not that I regret it, because I do love the Bottega Veneta pouch. Like I said, I just think it's so stylish. But in terms of practicality, I do find myself kind of shying away from it when I'm looking for like what bag I want to carry out. It's definitely not a bag that I'm going to use for errands or anything, because my hands aren't free. And when I go out to dinner, I don't know, it's just always, and it's big, whatever. Anyway, the Loewe flamenco clutch is definitely on my wish list. And now that they've come out with this pleated version, it really is so beautiful. It's like a work of art, but I don't think it's as practical as the original. So anyway, that is on my list. So I have two brands left on my list. The next one is Dior, and this is a bag that I've talked about a couple of times on my channel whenever I've done handbag videos. and I just just don't know if I should pull the trigger, and that's the Lady Dior Ultra Matte Black. At first I wanted the medium size. I thought that was the most practical. It seemed the most proportionate in a way, like the proportions made sense to me. But then the last time I went to a Dior store, which is months and months ago, not the mini, I guess it's just the small. I think it's called like a My Lady Dior. Anyway, it's a size down from the medium, and they had it in the ultra matte black, and I tried it on, you know, crossbody or whatever, and it actually looked really nice, and it fit my phone, you know, it fit all the things that I needed it to fit. And I thought, maybe I'll get this size. Like I've talked about a gazillion times here, I definitely prefer a larger bag to a smaller bag, but I am definitely beginning to appreciate smaller bags because I just don't need the size anymore. And yeah, I don't know what my hesitation is. I don't know what it is about that particular bag that's holding me back, because I love the ultra matte-ness of it. You know, I love the black monochromatic look to it. I just think it looks really, really cool. It's a bag I feel like I could use often. Again, it goes crossbody. It's not that big. When I'm wearing a black coat and it's like an ultra matte bag, it's going to be like almost camouflage. So it's not going to be this really ostentatious, you know, like tacky kind of bag or anything, which I'm not always the biggest fan of. But yeah, I don't know what's holding me back. I don't know if it's the size, you know, do I get this smaller size or do I get the medium? I don't know if maybe I'm just waiting for a new version to come out because they always do these beautiful seasonal versions of the bag. So I don't know if any of you guys have a Lady Dior bag out there. Will you please let me know like your thoughts on it now? Do you still just absolutely love it, or do you love it more than you thought you would? Do you hate it? Let me know all your thoughts because I don't know what it is. I don't know what my hesitation is with that bag, but it's definitely a bag that I feel like I keep going back to. It's like every time I walk by a Dior store, I'm like, let me go in and take a look. And I try it on and I just never pull the trigger. So that's the one Dior bag that's on my wish list. And then of course I wanted to mention Chanel, and I don't actually have any Chanel bags on my wish list. And mainly because I'm never really attracted to any Chanel bags until I see them in person. If I see them in pictures, if I, you know, watch the runway show, whatever it is, I'm like, okay, you know, like that's not for me. That looks a little like crazy looking or whatever. I don't like that fabric, or wow, too many chains, like whatever it is. But as soon as I see it in store and then forget about it, as soon as I try it on, it's almost like the exact opposite effect as Dior, where as soon as I try the Dior bag on, I'm like, maybe not. You know, I kind of start like doubting it. With Chanel, if I try the bag on, I'm like, I'll take it. I love this. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. So anyway, I don't have any Chanel bags on my list, but I will definitely, as soon as I can, definitely be going into store, maybe checking some stuff out. I think they're getting their spring 21 collection in a couple of weeks. I think my essay from the Bellagio store, I think she said around the 19th. And that's in about a week. So that's very exciting. I did get that little pink bag from the cruise collection. So I am interested to see if there's anything from spring that I would like. So anyway, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I just had a lot of fun sitting here and talking about handbags and makeup. I could sit here and talk about till I'm blue in the face. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.